What's up guys, welcome back to Shifting Lanes. My name is Gregson, and in today's video we are going to talk about the all-new 2022 Mercedes-AMG SL. In this video I'll go over everything you need to know about the SL as a whole, since this is a brand new vehicle from Mercedes-AMG. Things like engine type and power output, key features and tech, and what it will mean to the Mercedes-AMG brand as a whole. I'll also give you my personal opinion on this car because I am a massive fan of GT cars, and the SL is one of the most well-known in this category. And hey, if you've seen our videos before and you keep coming back on the regular, or if you even just like this one at the end, please consider giving it a thumbs up or even subscribing to the channel. It's totally free and it really helps us to grow to keep making cool car content for you guys. If you're going to have a conversation about Grand Touring or GT cars, the SL needs to be part of the conversation. Why? Because the SL is one of the most recognized GT cars of all time. It is definitely up there with the best GT cars you can buy today, like the Jaguar F-Type, Bentley Continental, or Lexus LC500. Personally, I've never really been a fan of the SL until I saw this newer version, but more on that later. The SL has been given a complete and absolute overhaul on the 2022 version since the last one was taken out of the Mercedes rotation in 2020. Probably the most noticeable thing about the car, other than the new design language, is the naming. The previous generation shared a 6 as the first digit in the name with the SL63 and SL65. Not anymore. Now we get an SL55 and an SL63, and there are some key differences here. Both SLs are powered by a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 borrowed from the AMG GT 4-door sedan. This bucks what used to be, as the lower SL trim had a twin-turbo V6. Again, not anymore. If you opt for the entry-level 55, you'll get a not insignificant 469 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. However, it's the 63 trim that you really want in this car because you get an over 100 horsepower bump to 577 with 590 pound-feet. This is a huge bump and goes, even without saying, that the 63 would stomp the 55 at the drag strip. Rowing the gears manually, unfortunately, isn't an option here, as a 9-speed automatic is the only transmission offered. AMG calls it the Speed Shift MCT, and it has something called Race Start Launch Control, which should give you optimal mechanical performance off the line. An all-wheel drive system and 4-wheel steering are standard on all SL models, the latter being a first for the SL line. This system actually trims the turning circle diameter by nearly 2.5 feet to 40.4 feet in total. The all-wheel drive powertrain should allow the SL to combat the drop-top versions of the BMW 8 Series, the Lexus LC, and even the Porsche 911. An electronically controlled limited slip rear differential is standard on the SL63 and optional on the SL55. Ceramic composite brake rotors are also optional. Mercedes claims that all of this performance goodness will give you a 0 to 60 mph time of 3.8 seconds in the SL55 and 3.5 seconds in the SL63. For acceleration, those are true supercar numbers, to be quite honest. And that number could go even lower, as the CTO for Mercedes-AMG has gone on record saying that the new SL will get AMG's e-Performance plug-in hybrid system at some point. That will add an electric motor to the rear wheels and could bump power to over 800 horsepower and near 750 pound-feet of torque, which would no doubt send the 0 to 60 time close to the 2-second range. The SL range itself will also include active dampers with a suspension adding hydraulic roll stabilization in place of anti-roll bars in the SL63. This is optional on the SL55. An available front axle lift system can raise the front of the car by 1.2 inches, and it can be programmed to remember a location like your steep as hell driveway and activate automatically when you're in that geocached location. Lastly, neither Mercedes nor the EPA has given anything publicly on the SL's fuel economy estimates yet, and we also don't have full pricing either. but you can expect that a 25 mpg and $130,000 range will be the targets for both of those figures. On top of all the performance bits, there's a lot more on this car that makes it a significant upgrade from the old SL. Gone is the last generation's complicated folding hardtop, and in its place you'll find a fabric roof that has been used to save weight and maximize cargo space. A pair of small rear seats gives drivers a place to shove a passenger, but you probably will end up just using this area more for cargo than people. And of course, the unique Mercedes air scarf feature, which gently blows warm air on the driver and the front passenger's neck during cold weather drives, continues in this SL and is standard. All SL models come with Mercedes' new MBUX infotainment system, complete with the system's Hey Mercedes virtual assistant. In the cockpit, a 12.3-inch digital screen serves as the instrument cluster and features a special visor to prevent reflections caused by sunlight. Here you'll also find several display themes, which could be understated, classic, sport, super sport, and track pace. The layouts of the screen are vast and range from minimalist to full-on telemetry. An 11.9-inch portrait-style touchscreen sits in the center console as the main hub for infotainment. It can be adjusted for viewing angle depending on the driver's preference. Under the screen are a row of physical buttons that are used to control frequently used features. A head-up display is standard in the SL63 and optional in the SL55. It uses augmented reality to overlay arrows and for navigation directions. Navigation in both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are also included. All SLs come with a Burmeister stereo system, but the SL63 can be optioned with an upgraded surround sound version. With all of that said, to be 100% honest with you, I'm not an SL guy. I've never been into the SL line, at least the more modern iterations, but I've always respected it, especially because of the lineage. I've been around them a lot over the years, mostly during my time as a golf course caddy in my teens, and just being a big fan of GT cars overall. I'm also not a fan of convertibles. Again, I respect them and have driven many. The top-down experience is very cool and fun and engaging, but it's just not for me as a buyer. However, that has changed with this SL in both of those cases I just mentioned. I mean, just look at it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you cannot change my mind otherwise. It takes design cues from the AMG GT Coupe, but makes it more approachable and less hardcore. It truly, to me, looks like an all-time great GT from a design perspective. Now, many journalists have been posting their reviews of the new SL since the embargo lifted a few weeks ago, and these same journalists are saying that the car is a bit two-faced with performance, but the handling lets it down. To me, that actually makes total sense. The SL should not be a better handling car than the GT Coupe, since the SL will sit below the GT in the Mercedes-AMG range. Many have also questioned why this car even exists because the GT Coupe is so good. As someone who's driven both the AMG GTS and R on road and track, I can confirm they are utterly fantastic cars to drive hard. But that's never been what the SL line has been about. The SL has always been about Luxo sport, even all the way back to the SL300 Gullwing. The new GT Coupe has become a bit more of a front-engine sports car than a GT car. That's where this SL comes in and fills a niche that was missing the last few years from the Mercedes lineup. I think this version of the SL has a place in the lineup, and it is needed in the automotive world to continue the GT heritage forward. What will this car mean to Mercedes-AMG brand as a whole? Well, it's hard to say right now, but it does mean a new era of the SL tradition is upon us, and for many buyers that's a breath of fresh air. It may never have the history or the lore that the original Gullwing has, but another SL lineage on the road means automotive enthusiasm lives to fight another day. Well, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. It honestly means a lot that you guys watch these. If you enjoyed this one, please consider watching some of our other videos that we do. We make tons of videos here at Shifting Lanes about new car reviews, other what-to-know videos, consumer advice recommendations, and automotive news. If you'd like to see any of those, check the description below for playlists of everything we do. With all that said, I hope that this video does help you in making your potential buying decision a bit easier, or has made you a more informed enthusiast. If you want to follow us outside of YouTube, you can find us at Shifting Lanes on Facebook and Instagram, where we post about the cars we review, our personal cars, and industry news and adventures. Again, my name is Gregson. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time.